Hello everyone, welcome back to Presley Mania. As promised, I am here to give you an update on the Bridget Cruz Priscilla Presley lawsuits. That's right, plural, that are going on right now. I am not going to get into all of the documentation that I printed off from the suit in Orange County, Florida, because I am still going through all of those documents, and I'm telling you, there is like 120 plus pages to go through, and I'm working my way through them. So next week, I will do a show on those, and we're going to dissect them, and we'll talk about what has been said. We will also get a glimpse into the suit that Priscilla has filed against PPP, which was Priscilla Presley Partners, that Bridget Cruz is a part of, and she has filed a suit against her. So we're going to get into that as well, because a lot of the documentation that Priscilla's attorney filed in Florida also includes documentation from her attorney in California, Marty Singer, in regards to the cases. So what I did want to tell y'all today is, and it's going to involve just a little bit of reading, and but I wanted to read. Bridget Cruz has been a part of GWS Auctions, and if you recall, we talked about them on my last video, because they were auctioning off. There was some question about an auction on a jacket that Elvis had. It was a black grommet jacket, and Graceland claims that it is the only one that was made. GWS Auctions was claiming that it was an actual Elvis jacket, not a duplicate, not a fake. So all of that is going to be another long, deep dive into what's going on with all that stuff, and more information on that is going to follow as well. But what I found interesting, I was just kind of, you know how you click on your computer and your news pops up from whatever your source is, Google, whatever. And this came up. It says GWS Auctions responds to allegations regarding sales of Elvis Presley items. So I wanted to read this because there is some key things in here that I thought you guys would want to know, just in case you haven't seen it. And the other thing is, we have got Bridget responds to Priscilla's lawsuit in California, and I also have Priscilla's lawyer responds to Bridget's response. So this is all going to get so confusing, I think, in time. But we're going to try to keep it all straight, and I'm going to try to keep it all straight for you, and do my very best. So here we go. This is GWS Auctions response to the allegations of selling Elvis items. And this was July 25th of 2023, and it is actually on the GWS auction site if you want to look up and resource what I'm telling you. So Bridget Cruz and Priscilla Presley met several years ago under circumstances unrelated to the sale of Elvis Presley memorabilia at auction. Because of her unique position in the Elvis Presley space, Ms. Cruz was made aware of certain ultimately unsubstantiated claims and assertions relative to Elvis Presley's legacy and estate. Ms. Cruz was instrumental in vetting, paying for, and disproving such claims, and her efforts I'm thinking there's a typo, and her efforts to ensure the benefit of Elvis Presley's reputation and estate. The personal and business disputes involved in the Florida lawsuit commenced against Ms. Presley and Ms. Presley's recently filed retaliatory lawsuit in California will be resolved in court. Those disputes and the litigation do not involve GWS Auctions, and GWS is not a party in any litigation involving Ms. Presley. GWS has been unfairly maligned and its reputation harmed by certain misinformed and overzealous media dragging GWS's name into these controversies. While Ms. Cruz categorically denies any elder financial abuse of Ms. Presley, those allegations do not involve GWS. Ms. Cruz's personal and business relationships with Ms. Presley are separate and distinct from GWS. Ms. Cruz is not an owner of GWS. Now that was news to me. I don't know if she was at some point an owner or if things have changed. So I'm going to dig into that as well while I'm looking into all of these court documents that were filed in Orange County, Florida. Okay. This goes on to say, although GWS did receive letters of recollection from Ms. Presley regarding certain lots from the Colonel Tom Parker collection, those letters provided additional support and provenance, and GWS believed that they were of historical value to collectors, particularly when combined with supporting materials provided directly from Colonel Parker's estate. Ms. Presley's name was, Ms. Presley's name was associated with the Colonel Parker collection and because she was there in real time. While GWS was preparing for the auction of the Colonel Parker collection, EPE Graceland offered to authenticate certain lots for a fee. Because GWS was satisfied with its own due diligence as well as the strength of the provenance associated with items in the Colonel Parker collection, GWS elected not to pay a fee for additional authentication of those items. Additionally, Ms. Presley's name was inscribed on one of the pieces, and she maintained a close relationship with Colonel Parker up until the time of his passing. Ms. Presley's recollections about these pieces were very clear. Additionally, GWS has access to extensive and pertinent records related to Colonel Parker and the Colonel Parker collection. NBC recently aired a segment that focused on GWS Auctions and its sale of Elvis Presley memorabilia. Although denied by NBC, the airing of the segment appears to have been timed to coordinate with a filing by Ms. Presley in litigation involving Ms. Cruz and others, but unrelated to GWS. GWS and Ms. Cruz cooperated with NBC and gave NBC access to various records, including records of sales, correspondence with Graceland Archives, and provenance. Ms. Cruz also participated in a lengthy interview with NBC reporter Chloe Melis, most of which was not included in the segment that NBC chose to broadcast. In advance of the interview, NBC inquired about the authenticity and provenance of Elvis-related artifacts sold through GWS, and GWS provided materials supporting the provenance for dozens of items. When the segment aired, no references were made to the documentation provided by GWS. Instead, NBC included comments by Joel Weinshanker at Elvis Presley Enterprises Incorporated, questioning the accuracy of the descriptions for two items previously offered for sale by GWS. NBC failed to note that EPE is a business enterprise and was a competitor of GWS that attempted to promote its own auctions prior to Graceland Auctions ceasing its operations. NBC also failed to note that part of EPE's business model involves the fee-based authentication of Elvis Presley artifacts. EPE is not the only source of expertise with respect to Elvis Presley memorabilia. While experts can legitimately form different opinions regarding the authenticity of any item in any asset class, GWS stands behind everything that it sells and categorically denies trafficking in fake or inauthentic items attributed to Elvis Presley or otherwise. Through innuendo and without proof, a shadow has been unfairly cast over GWS and its operations after over 15 years of stellar service to its consignors, bidders, and buyers. GWS is one of the most respected and reputable names in the Elvis Presley marketplace. GWS stands behind everything that it has sold in the Elvis Presley space and otherwise, all of which has passed GWS's strict internal qualification standards. And this is a statement from GWS Auctions. Okay, I want to address just a couple of things in here. Like I said, the news that Bridget Cruz is not an owner of GWS was news to me. So I need to look into that, and I'm going to. There is a lot of question. They said that Bridget's interview, not all of it was aired. And I believe that. You know, they take bits and pieces. I am not going to comment one way or the other on what I feel about the things that they have auctioned off. I have a lot of questions regarding some of the items they have auctioned. There have been a lot of red flags that have come up. This is their statement. They are obviously trying to protect their company, their brand. They don't want to lose business over this because it cannot be good for them to have all of this going on right now. It just, you know, it's got to hurt their profit margins, especially if they are being thrown under the bus and questioned that they're selling fake memorabilia. So they're claiming that they have letters of provenance, and they also said, which I found very interesting, that Graceland offered to authenticate the merchandise they were selling, but for a fee. So I would like to look into that a little deeper as well. And they said a lot of that was because at the time, Graceland was doing some of their own auctions. Now, I don't think that fee was associated with that at the time, but they were looked at, GWS was looked at as a competitor. And if I am understanding correctly what I read, it seems to me that it was saying that EPE would still authenticate things, but they would charge to do so. I don't know. In Joel's interview that he gave on NBC, it stated that he had tried to get in touch with them, and he did so. He said Elvis Presley Enterprises questioned the authenticity. It also said that he also went on to say that he did not believe that Priscilla did anything. How did he word it? He believed that she was not doing anything purposefully, but that she did not have the capacity to know. Now, I've seen different things. People are saying that he inferred or said she didn't have the mental capacity. No, that is not what he said. He said she did not have the capacity to know. That puts a whole different context on what he said. So be careful, guys. If you're out there and you're putting things on social media, Joel did not say she didn't have the mental capacity. He said she did not have the capacity to make those decisions. And the reason is because she had already left Elvis and was not with him at the time a lot of these things came out. Now, if she wants to give a letter of recollection stating that she remembered something during her time that she was there, I can understand that and I can see it. Or if maybe after their divorce, you know, he came to pick up Lisa, or most of the time he didn't pick her up, but if they were together and she saw him wearing something, I guess then a letter of recollection would be beneficial. But I think Joel was trying to say that, you know, she wasn't there all the time. She did not know every single item that Elvis bought. Just like I said on my show earlier this week, you know, when you divorce somebody and you're not living with them all the time, you're not privy to every single item that they have purchased. Shoot, there are things my husband has purchased that I didn't even know he had bought, and there are things I bought that he didn't know I had. So there you go, you know, draw your own conclusions. Okay, there were two other things I wanted to go over in this video real quickly. Bridget responds to the lawsuit in California. She called it a retaliatory lawsuit. And this is what she said. She said the suit filed is a retaliatory lawsuit due to the one filed by Priscilla's business partners last year. The statement reads, "We are confident that the facts will speak for themselves and justice will prevail." It continues, "It saddens all of us who dropped our lives to provide aid to a woman who needed help, and she is now attempting to use her celebrity status to ruin the lives of kind, hardworking people." They also express their gratitude for those who have supported them during this difficult time. And she goes on to say, "We will continue to focus on our business and look forward to our day in court. The truth will come out by way of evidence and not rumors. There will be no further comment at this time as we respect the judicial process," the statement concludes. Okay, that was one thing I do want to bring out today, and I will have a lot more to say about the lawsuits next week on my show. I just want to make sure that I am completely talking intelligently about the information. I don't want to give anything out that is incorrect, so I'm really going through them piece by piece and trying to make sense of it. But one thing that has stood out to me is on the filing that was done against Bridget Cruz, or PPP, Priscilla Presley Partners, is that it's going to be a jury trial. So it's going to be done in California, and it's going to have a jury present. That is what they have requested. So it's a completely different thing. Okay. Priscilla Presley's lawyer rejected the statement that Bridget made, and I'm going to tell y'all what he said. In a statement shared with People, and both of these statements, the one from Bridget regarding her response to the lawsuit, and this one from Priscilla's attorney, are both from People magazine and are from People, and it was shared on July 24th. Priscilla's lawyer, Marty Singer, rejects Cruz's claim that the filing is retaliatory to a lawsuit Cruz filed in September 2023 for an alleged breach of contract. The fact is that when Priscilla uncovered their unlawful scheme against her nearly a year ago, Priscilla made claims against them for the substantial monies they had wrongfully funneled to themselves, Singer said in a statement to People regarding discoveries allegedly made by Singer. Elvis Presley's ex-wife at that time, Priscilla, also revoked any purported authority they professed to have to act on her behalf. Several months later, Cruz and Kevin Fialco reacted by filing their specious defensive lawsuit against Priscilla in the name of sham companies they set up, outlandishly claiming a right to more than 80% of her income in perpetuity, he continued. Singer concluded it is ironic that they are attempting to characterize themselves as the victims, since, as Priscilla alleges in her lawsuit, they made Priscilla a victim of their unscrupulous financial elder abuse when they fraudulently induced her to sign sham agreements for their own financial benefit so they could reap 80% of her income forever. We look forward to the court holding defendants fully accountable for their outrageous wrongdoing. Okay. As you can tell, it is going to get messy. Marty Singer's response was definitely back in your face kind of thing, I think, and it's going to be something worth watching. And like I told you guys, I will be back next week. We're gonna go through the documents that were filed, 120 plus pages. So I'm not going to read all of that to you. I am going to hit the high points and discuss it. I'm trying to keep a very open mind as to what's going on here, but I do have some points that I'm going to want to make. I have to just say this, and this is my opinion and my opinion only, so disclaimer here. I find it odd that Priscilla Presley Partners, the Bridget Cruise company that she and Priscilla supposedly founded together, filed against Priscilla in October of 2023. And Priscilla is just now leveling a lawsuit against Priscilla Presley Partners, Bridget Cruise, Kevin Fialco, Bridget's husband, Val, Sicilian, whatever, and the attorney that helped put it all together, Lynn Walker Wright. That's a whole nother story that I will get into next week. But I do find that odd that she's just now filing this. Because Priscilla claims that she has lost, that Bridget took her for over $1 million. Bridget wasn't claiming that much money. Bridget's claiming that she, as a result, lost over $500,000, $500,000. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot for us to go through, and I'm sure it's going to get all of your wheels turning just like it has mine. But I promised y'all a little video about what was going on. I did not want to not keep my word. So here's just a little bit of tidbits for you guys to think on until I come back next week and we dig. So until then, remember, you only get one shot at this life. Live each day to the fullest, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And we are finding that out more and more every day. See you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, and sorry, one last thing. If you like what you see here and you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell as well. It will notify you of all of my videos when they have been uploaded, so you guys can not miss a thing. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate every one of you. So I will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.